Ready?
I guess.
All right, we're going live. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even starting from a test stream. We're back. Guys, can you see me? Are we here? Are we here? OBS didn't like Royal Pain, says Evan Perry. I'm putting us back into the super chat screen. Guys, again, I want to point out 2 test streams yesterday, both over 2 hours. And today it just decides that at an hour and 18 minutes, I'm sorry, it was an hour and 19 minutes today. We are making merch of this. We are. This is not cool. I don't know what to say other than I'm very, very frustrated, and I love you guys who are coming back to the chat and joining us despite all of the problems that seem to be going on this week.
Cursed week.
It is. It's like apparently they don't like our opinions on stuff these days.
Is this YouTube?
I don't know. We're gonna have
it's
to.
Impossible to know. I guess.
Waffle Sensei says 118 insurrection. We need a 118 committee. Thank you. We got some super chats.
Yeah, we were just in the middle of super chats, so I guess we're just gonna continue and act like that shit didn't happen. Yeah, Waffle Sensei said 118 YouTube insurrection. Carnell said Buck Crisis Actors, Sup Brett, Hail Mary Morgan. Potatoes for Seamus said, come on, I want that hat, Brett. Are you gonna mail it to him or not?
Maybe I get.
Did he win the bet?
I'll have to see if I get another one. Winner, Brett hat dinner. But I love this hat.
Then he said, Waffle Sensei said 118 insurrection again. Bobcat said, if you're going to keep rebooting the stream at 420, you need to switch over to Blaze TV.
That would be funny.
Get it?
That would get it. Get it? Porco Rosso forever says, stop playing games with my heart. It's quit playing games with my heart if we're going to be listening to the song while we do that. Guys, I don't know what to say right now other than I'm sorry that this keeps going on. This is
light up.
This is officially a chill stream now from now on because it's like it's very hard to
get back into the
groove.
Mode of like doing a show when it gets interrupted like this.
It's honestly a little bit frustrating, and it makes no sense why it wouldn't have happened when we were when I was testing it last night. I was testing it on YouTube. I was live on YouTube. I was just private. I don't know if being not having it a private stream means anything.
If it does, that does imply censorship
of some sort.
But
it's not. But here's the thing: YouTube is not crashing. It's OBS that's crashing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And everything's updated. So we're going to keep working on it, guys. It says you need to start making 2 streams, and we will immediately transfer to number 2. Maybe, we could start like spreading the show out during the day to like 2 1-hour shows rather than 1 2-hour show.
The Pop Culture Morning Show. Jorg Vin said, you'll figure it out, Brett. Well, even if Brett doesn't figure it out, someone will.
Yeah, well, it's I'm not the AV guy.
Yeah. BMF Nate Dogg said Tim's show doesn't do this.
Yes, we are aware. We are not in the same studio, nor are we running on the same system as Tim's show. But we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, Parodification says not your fault, Brett. Mary is the Fed. So they think that the one common denominator here is not that the stream went down; it's that you're here when the stream goes down.
Someone said that OBS just can't handle how based
Mary is. Yep.
Yeah.
Kiki says fresh reinstall. We have changed the version several times to different ones to figure out where the problem is, and that's apparently not it. But we're gonna move on. We got a couple more things to talk about. What the hell?
We do.
We got that. What the hell?
Next, we're going to talk about the absolute meltdown that occurred for Swifties when they weren't getting into the queue for early tickets for the Taylor Swift Midnights tour. Ticketmaster failed them. They were not getting moved in the early access queue, or at least they signed up to get text codes sent to them that they would then click on and get to buy their tickets earlier than everybody else, like if they had a Capital One card. And the system failed because they just had an unprecedented demand, even though they knew exactly how many people were signed up for this this early ticket sale. And then it seems that Drake has now thrown shade at Taylor Swift because she is holding on to the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100 Top 10 list. And 8 of his songs on his new album with 21 Savage are on the list. They just haven't broken through to #1. So he's kind of throwing a bit of a man-child tantrum, it seems. He unfollowed Taylor Swift on Instagram, reportedly deleted a picture of them together, and posted a screenshot of the top 10 list with emojis covering up Taylor Swift's single Antihero, and then showing all 8 of... Thank you, guys.
Seriously, thank you so much for that. We have,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Amid all of this chaos. So... He showed those 8 spots on the top 10 list, but he's really pressed that he didn't get #1 so far. And I don't think he will, because Taylor Swift has held on to that spot for 3 weeks now. It's funny because he has now been accused of misogyny for posting this on his Instagram story.
Drake, adult man, covers up Taylor Swift's name with emojis on Billboard Hot 100 screenshot.
Jezebel has Drake's story under the category of dirtbags.
Very nice. Yeah, it's literally under a headline that says dirtbag.
So it's a Drake, who recently dropped lyrics denying Megan Thee Stallion was ever shot, is at it again. And by it, I mean misogyny. And by again, I mean for the billionth time. The 36-year-old father instead took a jab at Taylor Swift, whose song Antihero has occupied the #1 spot for weeks, covering her name with emojis of popcorn, the magic 8-ball, a man getting a massage, a man meditating, and a laughing/sweating face. He did not obscure Sam Smith and Kim Petras' names on the song Unholy at number 10. Yep. This one tweet said, Drake really deleted that picture of him and Taylor and blocked out her name in that screenshot just because she beat him. Men are so bitter of women's success. I'm crying. And then another one said Taylor Swift put her kitten heel on Drake's neck for Megan Thee Stallion, and you can't tell me differently. I'm pretty sure it had nothing to do with Megan Thee Stallion.
It's also really funny, like, that there's people that look to see who's following and unfollowing other people. Like,
it's weird that that's newsworthy, right? But it seems that it was on purpose.
Yeah.
And then one of Drake's producers went and tweeted, making the situation worse, saying that we all know the real #1 was their song Rich Flex. And it was not the real #1, but nice cope there. And then this last paragraph, I just want to convey the snark. It's all just so exhausting. Most artists would be thrilled to have 8 of the top 10 spots on Billboard Hot 100 chart, but these men can't stand the thought of being one-upped by Swift, who also happens to be the first artist in history to occupy the chart's entire top 10 spots. So I don't know if this is misogyny, but it does seem that Taylor Swift gets the status of a sacred cow among white women in Hollywood.
She's not allowed to be criticized.
Ever since Kanye's stunt while he was drunk, co-opting her acceptance speech at the VMAs?
Yeah.
Or was it the Grammys?
Grammys, I think.
Yeah, at the Grammys.
One of the two. An award show that nobody cares about because nobody cares about award shows.
Yeah. Ever since that famous stunt happened, it seems like no one can criticize Taylor Swift. And if you criticize Taylor Swift while being a man, it is misogyny.
Yeah.
And that's something that, that's the narrative that Taylor Swift has taken advantage of for years, especially in her documentary. Like, her martyr complex is so tiresome. And I'm sure when she sees articles like this, it just makes her pat herself on the back even more for putting up with all of the backlash.
It's also funny, though, because I remember when we listened to that conversation between her and Kanye about him talking about making a song about her, and then like talking about what would be okay Kanye, for him to say. And she was very businesslike, and when she's talking about it, she's absolutely not soft. She's not thin-skinned. If anything, I think she does it not because she's thin-skinned, but because she's an extremely smart businesswoman.
Yeah, it was true that Kanye misrepresented the lyric to her. He only told her the part that said, I think Taylor Swift owes me sex. He did not include the part in which he called her a B word.
Yeah.
So she took issue with the latter, not the former. And then that phone call got leaked, and that was a whole saga in and of itself. But I don't think I'm taking Drake's or Taylor Swift's side in this.
Yeah.
I just think it's stupid to say that Drake is a misogynist for unfollowing Taylor Swift on Instagram. Like, the level of grievance that occupies our minds these days, it cannot continue. Like, this would torture me to think about which celebrities are following who.
Yep.
All the time.
And somebody's always aggrieved. All right. I do want to talk about this one really quick. This was okay. So this is a Lacey K. Summers, and she was body shamed at Disneyland. And
she's a social media influencer who goes to Disneyland like 3 times a year to take pictures of food and products.
As Disney,
yeah, she's like an
influencers.
Ambassador for the brand, I suppose.
So she says, I got hit with dress code by Disneyland. The Intones influencer said, who regularly posts saucy bikini snaps. Isn't that fantastic?
Saucy.
That's what they listed
That's
as.
such an interesting word.
In the accompanying footage captioned, what I do though, although the hashtag body shaming, it says, along with the hashtag body shaming, the bombshell can be seen twirling around in black leggings and a skimpy crop top that shows off her bare midriff before the crop top cops come to take her away. And basically what's happening is, like, there have been a bunch of cases of this in the last year in which influencers go there purposely with like less than acceptable clothing items, and then they get a free Disney shirt out of it because they're cheap, and now they're making them pay for it because they don't want to just flaunt themselves. They want to also get free merchandise, so Disney's at least not playing.
And it's weird because they only have those dress codes because it's a kid's environment.
Well, she says
and you
body
should be
shaming.
dressing and acting in a kid-friendly manner.
Public decency at a business isn't the same thing as body shaming, and I say public decency because there's children there.
I mean, maybe if she were fat, she'd have grounds to say, like, it's body shaming, but she's not, so it's just that you're not allowed to dress in basically underwear.
I also want to point out that the comments they kind of make me lose hope for humanity when I see the simping in the comments. It says, another road.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, Queen. I would never treat you like that.
You got hit for jealousy, declared one fan. And one says, well, you do look hot / sexy, but not enough to cause a problem.
Hot / sexy.
Yes. Well, they're
amazing.
Different correlations there. However, a few commenters sided with Disney, with one House of Mouse supporter writing, I mean, I'm good with it, but yeah, they probably require more than a sports bra, especially with your physique. LOL. And I just think back, there was this other story here about a Florida woman who had the same thing happen. So this is a ongoing thing where she wears this outfit. They have it in the top picture there, and then they get in trouble with the Disney employees, and then they claim grievance or problem down the line. And I wanted to look up. I was like, I wonder what the dress code actually entails for Disney.
Yeah.
So I have
it's not that it's not casual. It's just that you can't wear bras.
Yeah. So it says costumes. So these are this is what's listed for inappropriate attire. It says costumes may not be worn by guests 14 years of age or older. Masks may not be worn by guests 14 years of age or older unless they are for medical purposes. So that's good. We need to. I wonder what qualifies as that now. Clothing with objectionable material, including obscene language or graphics, excessively torn clothing or loose-fitting clothing, which may drag on the ground and create a potential trip hazard. There was another one who goes. She said she goes multiple times a year, and she wore like a ball gown to Disney World, and she got in trouble because you can't wear stuff that could cause people to trip.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So it says clothing which by nature exposes excessive portions of the skin that may be viewed as inappropriate for a family environment. So what is that? Your bare
They're going to need
midriff?
to get more
Yes.
specific if they want to avoid a lawsuit.
Yep. Clothing with multiple layers are subject to search upon entry. Visible tattoos that could be considered inappropriate, such as those containing objectionable language or designs. Well, what are those designs? I mean, I understand the objectionable language one. Is that only English objectionable? Like they would just assume that if it's in another language?
If anything, I think that the Disney dress code should be more strict and
no
impose more modesty on the people in their gates, because it's a private institution. They have the right to do that, first of all. But second of all, people just think that they're entitled to walk into any business dressing and acting however they please, especially one catered to children,
Yep.
when you don't have any children.
Yeah.
You're walking around there being an absolute, like, extended adolescence adult baby. Your job is literally to take pictures of, like, Mickey Mouse shaped cookies or something, like to walk around a theme park taking pictures of yourself and making TikToks, and you're complaining because you're not allowed to dress like a you-know-what while doing it.
Here's another one that went through this where she says, in this case of Alyssa Schuler on her TikTok, she says, I questioned, she said, let me start from the top here. She had just arrived at Epcot for a dinner reservation when an employee allegedly told her that her top was not allowed. Quote, I questioned him about having no issue earlier in the day at Animal Kingdom, and he said, well, they shouldn't have allowed you in. Schuler said in the comment, quote, having a dress code isn't a terrible idea, but I do think Disney World needs to be more consistent on enforcing it. You know, what do you do?
I mean, yeah, they should be more consistent enforcing it, and then you should not be allowed entry into the theme park. How about that?
So maybe it speaks to human decency. I don't like it's the kids, right? It's like if this was just adults.
But Disneyland is slowly but surely becoming a theme park for adults,
rich
only.
Adults.
Yeah, like the price point is getting spiked to the extreme.
Yeah.
And it's not really for families anymore. It's for millennials with no real hobbies.
No kids.
With no kids and a lot of disposable income. Yeah. And they go there and get like Disney themed cocktails or whatever. Like this is for grown adult children.
Yep.
Children in adult bodies.
That's why the movies are updated for modern audiences.
That's why they do that. Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
it's not the kids who are asking for it.
There was another interesting part about the down here for the guests 14 years of ages or older. So it says capes may be worn if the length does not go below the waist. Themed t-shirts, blouses, sweatshirts, and hats are acceptable. Acceptable accessories include transparent wings, plastic lightsabers, toy swords, and tutus. That's for 14 years of age and older.
Dude. I know there are 26-year-olds walking around in tutus.
Yeah, it says masks. I would love to know how they enforce the mask policy.
Is it just it can't resemble any of the characters?
Yeah. So it's up in the air. It's stupid. It's really, really funny to me because there was also one about like you can't dress up just like the characters because they don't want you can't sign autographs if you're like that because they don't want you to be able to.
You could be like a predator or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? We have one more thing to talk about.
We do.
And let's go for it.
I really enjoyed this story.
If we have to have technical issues, then Harry Styles does too.
Yeah, everyone has to suffer. Harry Styles got pelted in the eye with a Skittle in the middle of one of his concerts in California the other night. And it horrified his fans. I thought that the tweets about this were hilarious. Someone said, don't throw shit on stage that's going to hurt him. What the actual F is the point of throwing Skittles, bro? Harry Styles is not going to eat your random effing dirty Skittles.
Who throws a shoe, honestly?
So he recoiled in pain and was seen rubbing his eye throughout the night and squinting. After this happened, I can imagine it would hurt, but I don't know how you throw a Skittle that hard.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, actually, it is.
Like, now imagine if somebody was like direct hit, like after he says it, after he hits him with it.
I don't like the moralizing about this because I don't like Harry Styles and I like to see him suffer. But someone said, some of you never learned basic human respect. Like, can you all stop throwing stuff at him? It only makes me want to see more videos of people throwing stuff at him.
I'm picturing
if you want Harry to have something, then make sure he wants to catch it and that it'll land on stage, not on his body. What the hell? Awful people.
And there was also he got hit in the groin with the.
And that object was never identified.
I thought it was a water bottle.
Yeah, they threw a water bottle or something directly at his crotch, and then he was like doubled over in pain just 2 nights before this or something.
The guy, he's going to have to remember when Lady Gaga had the thing blocking her performance.
Yeah.
He's going to need to put up protective.
The force field.
He's going to need to put up his own Harry Styles force field that's powered by Olivia Wilde's depressing old lady energy.
Depressing old lady energy. I see a breakup incoming. When she sees this video, when Olivia Wilde looks at the videos of this concert, she's going to get the ick and she's going to leave him.
I like the idea that he comes home and she's just got a whole bowl of Skittles out for him.
Maybe Olivia Wilde is going to date Pete Davidson next. What do you think, guys?
No.
Likely.
No.
If that's what's in right now, I don't know.
All right. You know what? Let's read the super chats and then let's just hang out for a bit and then we'll
Okay. BMF Nate Dogg said, "Is Kanye the reason for teardrops on her guitar?"
Hey, she was better as a country performer. She was miles better as a country artist than she ever was as a pop star.
Yeah. Tacti Plati said, "My favorite Twitter celebrity to follow is Mary."
That is you.
I didn't know I was a Twitter celebrity.
You are a Twitter celebrity.
Thank you for telling me. Bad App said, "Hey, I went to Disney on Monday. I've seen lots of nip slips at Disney World. Well, maybe on the rides."
It's a sign of degeneracy, and it is what it is.
Bad App said, "Do you remember the site Flash Mountain where girls would flash the camera on Splash Mountain?"
So nothing actually changes. It's the world we
I didn't
live in
know that
these days.
either.
It's what's going on.
I hope to never go to Disney in my life. Like, that would be an accomplishment for me.
It says Mike Taryn says Pete Davidson is on Mary's rebound list confirmed.
Ew, no.
No, not for you.
No.
Not for you. All right. So
we could have him on the show just to bully him.
Dustin says we need Skittle control. Yes, we need common sense Skittles control to prevent these types of tragedies from happening on stage. Otherwise, how is anyone supposed to live their life not in fear if we don't actually regulate where our Skittles go?
Someone said, "Been a while since we heard from Chet."
Yes,
it has
been. I keep up with Chet. I still follow him on social media. He had a pretty interesting one the other day where he talked about how he's like, what's interesting to me is that when he gets like messages from people, right? He's like, I get these long, like 5-paragraph long emails where people tell me with like the most sincerity and most enthusiasm about why they can't improve. And he says if you put half that effort into actually bettering your life, you would probably get farther ahead. And that was kind of interesting. It's like people will go through a lot to write out all the reasons why they can't do better, and it would take a lot of time to write that. I read some of those paragraphs. You read these comments people leave online, and they're insane how long these comments
They're justifications for your own.
Well, not just that, but any aspect of like you see somebody talking in a comment section and they just write these paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. People want to be heard.
That's why I like Twitter arguments better, because you have to actually be clever in order to figure out how to rebut someone or come back at someone without going over the character limit. I always liked the short character limit for that reason, even though a lot of people have complained about it.
You'd prefer it was back down to, was it 180?
Oh, it was 140. When I started Twitter, it was 140, and then they moved it to 280. 280 is fine. I don't think that it needs to be any longer than it is.
Johnny Derp says semi-automatic Skittles should be regulated.
Someone just had a Skittle gun.
Yeah.
Tacti Plati said, "Mary, I'll start being a reply guy." Quote tweet.
There you go. You have your very own reply guy.
Wait, so to quote tweet me, or I'll quote tweet you?
I think he would quote tweet you.
Okay. Waffle Sensei said, "Olivia Wilde led the 118 insurrection because of Mary calling her an old hag." Fake news. I did not call her that.
I'm the one who seemed to take the most.
Check the transcripts.
I'm the one who seemed to take the most pleasure in watching her, deal with her problems on that set.
Bad App said, "No, Food and Wine Fest at Epcot gets lit." I literally would never want to be there. Around a bunch of drunk, emotionally unstable
young
adult babies. Yeah, I'd rather not.
They're like, oh my God, I'm complaining about their 401ks and their jobs, like their email jobs that they all have.
Jobs?
Yeah, they're all like, I'm the associate director of this non-existent department at this company you've never heard of, and I make $250,000 a year.
I'm a human resources consultant.
Not even consultant. A lot of these people probably, I imagine a consultant would work like freelance, and they don't want to work freelance. They got to work for the company. So they're like, I'm the head of HR.
They work for the consultant firm.
Yes.
How about that? Bjorg Vin said, "Epcot is the best of the Disney parks, or was at least. Disney's Frozen head is kept under the buckyball.
Is that their own? Is that like their own version of a conspiracy theory? Kind of like how Jimmy Hoffa's buried under like the Denver airport, I think. And
it's just like if Walt Disney believed in cryonics.
Remember, not cryogenics.
Not cryogenics.
Cryonics.
Then wouldn't he have his whole body frozen and not just his head?
Well, no, apparently, like, because by the time they solve the death barrier, they'll be able to put your brain into somebody else's body.
So they can just tie up 2 spinal cords like a knot.
So if he wants to be better looking in his next lifetime, I don't know if Walt Disney was a good looking dude or not. I don't remember
either.
any pictures.
I doubt
but
it.
if he's like, he comes back and he's like, man, I want to be just an absolute, just
a Chadwagon.
hunk. Yeah.
As
Chadwagon, as Dane would say.
say.
So it is what it is. Guys, thank you so much. We apologize about all the issues. We're going to keep trying to work on it. We're going to keep trying to figure it out.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
Don't say we didn't warn you. We're going to figure everything out as we go. Mike Tarrant says it's not a conspiracy. I don't know if he's talking about this. Oh, he's talking about, I think he might be talking about
Disney's head?
No, yeah, but about what I was talking about. Yeah, you about Walt Disney's head, but also what I said about Jimmy Hoffa being buried under Denver Airport. So we got one more there.
Potatoes for Seamus said, so the Mary Bad App honeymoon will take place at Disney after the Taco Bell reception. Just so perfectly lowbrow. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
That sounds great. What would you get at the Taco Bell reception again? What would you prefer?
Crunchwrap cake.
Oh.
They like form a cake out of Crunchwraps.
It sounds disgusting to me.
It is,
sounds
yeah.
disgusting to me. All right. Guys, again, thank you very much. Mary, let everyone know where they can find you.
I will. You can find pictures of me on Instagram at Mary Archived, and you can also read my inane thoughts on Twitter. Apparently, I'm a celebrity on that platform. Also at Mary Archived. Thanks for putting up with us, by the way.
Thank you again so much for putting up with us. Like Mary said, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic. For the show, we are here Monday through Friday with all technical issues and everything else, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are also on social media, Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. One more from Bad App Mary. Go ahead.
Let's get on Disney's fairy tale weddings. Let's not.
Is that a thing, Mary? Fairy tale weddings?
I don't know. Apparently, yes.
All right, guys, if you would like to listen rather than watch, we're on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. I am uploading all of those free of interruptions every day. They've got the things worked out. Thank you again so much for joining us. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Later.